Welcome to the brick barn. It's time for another barn build. Come inside, let's see what I'm going to be building today. Let's see what the heads of destiny have got in store for me today. Let's see what item I'm going to be building. Castle. Now let's see what theme and style we're going to be building it in. Sci-fi. Interesting combination. This one's going to be a real challenge. Now, I've 30 minutes to gather my pieces and build a sci-fi castle. Let's go! Okay, a sci-fi castle. This has really got my imagination thinking a little bit. I'm thinking maybe of building a micro-scale castle using translucent pieces to try and emphasize the sci-fi element. Maybe combine it with a space station, so it's a space station, possibly even a floating castle in space. Let's see what pieces we can find and go from there. I think this might make a good base, that's for sure. And now I'm going to need lots of little turrety pieces and translucent pieces. Now, with it being a micro build, we need to look for really small pieces. So anything large, like big panels and doors, are a bit useless in this one. The build might evolve to become a gatehouse or something like that, but the smaller the piece, the better. Interesting little treasure map. Maybe we could mount that somewhere. Exhaust pieces. Maybe we could use those as towers, give it a bit of a steampunk feel. That kind of fits in with the fantasy vibe. Aerials and switches and radar dishes are really going to help bring our build to life. This is cool. Maybe we could use that as a central pillar for our castle. These tube pieces make great towers. And these brick pieces with holes in, they make great windows. No, 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 Bat Castle! Like 5, 7 minutes. Perhaps we could put some kind of moving feature on it, where we have a twisting wheel, or perhaps this can be some kind of radar signal receiver. After all, we want to capture that sci-fi element, while still keeping in the it to be a castle. Interesting. Going in there. We need to get a good mix of these translucent pieces in here too. They're really going to help give it that futuristic vibe that we want, rather than it being a predominantly grey and black. Oh, that's a nice piece. Yeah, pile them in. Wow, that's a well jazzy flame. It might be a bit big for what we need. I'll put it in the pot anyway. These nice little unicorn horns will make great rooftop spires. A wing. Perhaps we can use that for some kind of detail. It's going in the pot. Red cones will also make good roofs. I always get excited when I find masonry bricks. They're a great use, great details on them. They look like natural bricks, so they're really good to use. Ring ring, someone's on the phone. Oh, we're finding some good bits today. My cup's nearly full already. What kind of armor? Some golden roofs. So we're making sure there's plenty of abstract pieces in this. Oh no, not abstract. Futuristic. Sci-fi. There we go. Maybe this could be a piece we could use in the centre. Make a big tall piece. A little bridge. Oh, look at that, teeny little gem. Maybe we could pop that onto here and have that as the central power source of our futuristic castle. Yes, more translucent. Now, building in micro scale does make things a little bit tricky, but it also means that we can simplify pieces. So for example, instead of having to build a whole tree, we can use just a tiny sprout to represent a big tree. There are pluses and minuses. Oh, I'm finding so many good pieces today. I'm looking at my colour scheme. It is mostly blacks and translucent, but I think that might... blacks. It's mostly dark greys and light greys. Keeping that kind of medieval classic castle look, but also if we can combine that with the translucent pieces, that'll hopefully give it the real futuristic flair that we're required for this challenge. This should be about it for a good start. Let's tip the pieces out and let's get building and see how we get on. Let's see what we can create. Nice. Alright, so we've got a bit of a base going on over here. So like I said, I think we're going to build in micro scale. So we're going to try and look for basically this being as tall as kind of a gatehouse would be, and each level of brick representing a floor in the castle. So for example, this is one level, one floor. So that's kind of the scale that we're going to work on. So really we want some kind of central thing in our castle, I would say, to make it sci-fi-esque. So maybe we could put that in there and then build some kind of central point here. Perhaps even this is where we could incorporate this big flame. Maybe this is what powers it. Maybe there's some kind of furnace inside. Now, in order for this piece to work, I need to find a very, very small blue pin. Aha! No, that's not the one. I thought it was. Ah, there is one over here hiding. So what we need to do, if I take this piece off, you can see that there's a circle inside. And in order for this piece to connect, we need to make that circle narrower. So if we slide our blue pin into the middle, we can now connect our flame so it stands up properly, and I've suddenly got the hiccups. And there, now we have our central chimney for our sci-fi castle. And it's going to be a case of building up all our turrets and gatehouses around the side. Let's look to see if we can get a gatehouse running first. And that needs some form of a little roof, so we can give that a little roof here. See, we've already got our little entranceway and then our major tower in the middle. Now we need to build some offshoot towers and maybe use some sci-fi pieces to do that. Ah, this is good. We could click this to the side here, and that gives us our two exhausts for, perhaps this is a main boiler for the tower for the castle that keeps all the power inside. And we're going to use some of these, they're called log bricks, to be able to create texture on our walls, because just using flat pieces sometimes gets a bit boring, and therefore using these textured pieces helps to boost the attractability of our creation. I'm using all the big words today. Let's get Okay, so we can see with these little masonry pieces, they can create that kind of effect. And we can use these angled wedges to create diagonal walls, which again gives some interesting shapes to our model. I really like using these bricks with the studs on their side, because in this instance we can treat this as a window, and then we can put a little roof on the top, like so. And you can see how the front gatehouse is coming together. Alright, let's keep going. We'll see what happens. Now, we found this nature piece earlier. But what we need to do to make it work is we need to find a piece that's got a hole in, ideally a 1x1 round piece, just like that. We can slot this in and then connect it into the bottom, onto the base, and that. Now we've got a little tree at the side. Simple stuff. I really like the idea of using these different coloured studs to create like energy waves, so it gives us a splash of colour into the grey of the castle. Because I am conscious that it's still looking a little bit too, what's the term? Normal. It needs a bit more sci-fi-cation. I just made that word up. It's not a real word. This into here, and now we have another turret we can add to our castle. So if we push this down into here and this onto there, oh no, it's too wide, so we'll need to set it off one. So we can set it off into this bit, he says. Can we? Maybe. Yes, we can. And now we've got another turret on there, and our castle's coming together. We need to get a bit of height in the back now, otherwise that's going to be lost. And in fact, to balance the model out, you can see we already have these exhausts over this side, so it's currently blocking out all of this piece. So we need to move it across. Oh, and I managed to break my fancy roof tower. That's no good, is it? We could do with another translucent piece, or we could put some of these on the top to give it our sci-fi feel. And we can put these red windows in here. Oh, broken the roof again. Starting to get there. Okay, I think I'm probably down to my last 5 minutes, so I best build this final tower section off to the left. Now it needs to be not quite as tall as these front tower pieces here, but it still needs to have a good look to it. Let's see, maybe that height. A little bit more than that height. Okay. Oh, here we go. Oh, these fluted bricks are great for giving texture on micro builds. You can choose either the horizontal lines or the vertical lines. We're going to go for vertical lines on display for our tower. Now we need one more roof piece. Oh, in fact, I'm going to change my mind. I'm changing my mind. We're going to put a little window in there. And then go back to a circular. And then we need one more cone piece. Will that work? No, it's the wrong way round. Oh no. We need to find it. Oh, we could put a gold roof in. That would look cool. Alright, and now we just need to add in some finishing touches to our model. A couple of light pieces. Really try and get that sci-fi look going. In amongst all the medievalness, we've got our inspiration. Let's get a little brick in there, and we could do with a couple of pieces just to fill this wall in. because a castle's no good if there's a hole in the wall, that's for sure. Final piece into this bit. All right. We could do with a small piece up here. What could we use for that? Oh no, changing my mind. That's it. Still got a bit of time, so we're going to put that wedge plate in and boost that piece up, and that's better. There we go, that's a better height that we want. And I think we've been able to beat the timer today. Look, oh, I missed this piece. There we go, that. I think finishes our build off. We could maybe do with a little bit of smoke coming from in here. I wonder if I've got a little bit of time just to get a little bit of smoke coming out of that chimney. No, I'm not a fan of that. Take it off. There we go. I don't mind it with a little white top. In fact, we'll put a couple of white bits on to suggest the billowing of smoke from a chimney. All right. I think we did it. Let's have a look at the build. So today's build was an interesting one. A sci-fi castle. Now, castles are normally huge builds, but we decided to go for a micro scale, and I think we've been able to capture all the ideas. As you can see, we've got a little gatehouse here for the entrance to our castle, and then a variety of turrets and towers, and the translucent bits help to give it that real sci-fi feel. These big exhaust towers suggest some kind of big machine generating energy or power inside the hub of the castle. And then towards the back we have some more little towers, windows, and a back wall to help keep our villagers or inhabitants safe inside. What do you think to it? Let me know in the comments below. There's one more thing we can do though. Let's see, if you built this in the brick barn, how much would it cost to take home? Let's go to the scales and find out. So today's build would come in at £2.75. Absolute bargain. Thanks for joining me for another barn build here at the Brick Barn. And don't forget, you can come down and visit. We're open every weekend and during the school holidays. Before I go, you know there's two important things to say. May the power of imagination always be in your hearts and minds, and keep thinking out the brick box. I'll see you soon.